Hi there, it's Tarak, and today's probably came out yesterday, and I didn't even realize it was Wednesday, Thursday, and the One Piece chapter has come out, the new one. So let's get into it. Last week, Luffy has conclusively defeated Kaido. We saw Kaido has ended up into magma below Wano, and that actually Kid and Law sent Big Mom there beforehand, which now that I think about it is rather. Not poetic so much so, but the fact that these are technically the two of the up there as the worst of the people we've seen here, in the way they've treated their citizens and or with that's Big Mom, and with Kaido, with her being with Kaido treating the people of Wano so horribly for the past 20 years. It's almost as if they've fallen into hell itself as we think of it, thanks to Dante. So today, we also had Momonosuke try to tell the people of Wano to calm down because they had finally realized that Onigashima was right there, and that something big must have been happening while they were enjoying their festival. But Momo came there in his dragon form, which to them looked exactly like Kaido. I guess in the dark there wasn't enough light to realize his color was different, but I understand where they're coming from. 2 decades of a tyrant dragon will make you a little Looks like I got cut out there. Oh, look, my camera cut out on me. Yeah, so 2 decades of a dragon tyrant ruling over you will make you suspicious of any dragon, it seems, that comes along. That, well, even if they saw him in a different color, maybe they would have thought he's an associate of Kaido's. I could see that being a possibility. Excuse me a second. Of course, my sinuses once again interrupting my flow in my video. So I'm going to go back. So is there something else? So Yamato caught Luffy before he fell, and we saw what's her name? Otama talking to no, man, I cannot keep these names. How do you do it, Tekking? How do you keep these names in? You must use them all the time. I cannot remember the name. The guy with the other Kitetsu sword, and Otama had that really touching moment where she changed the message on her candle for her father who was killed. No, I forgot his name again too. I'm very sorry, fellow. I was just watching the episode where him and Zoro first met, and he's like, I can see him being a little annoying, but you can tell he's not trying to be. Like, it looked like Zoro and, what's his name? I'm going to pause this and look it up. Yasu, I think, if I got it, yeah? Otoko and Yasu. So the father, when he is with Zoro, it really felt like that dynamic they have in other films, or off the top of my head, I was thinking of Afro Samurai, and how the samurai had his alter ego version of, like, that voice in his head, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, who was he was kind of annoying, but he was also very how do I want to say that? Very realistic about odd in the areas they were going into, and it's just that similar dynamic with the strong silent type and the quirky partner, the comedy relief. That's what I'm also looking for. You see that with a lot of old westerns with I can't think of any of them now. It's been so long since I saw those. But there's always that comedy relief guy that doesn't do much of the fighting, but he's a really good guy. He could be often even clumsy and a little skittish and cowardly in some ways, but he's a good character, a righteous person who wants to do the right thing at the end of the day, and they usually hang around the other character who's the strong one that help protect them, and it's not unrealistic to see why. And Yasu and Zoro had that neat dynamic going on in the episode I watched recently. I'm rewatching Wano now because so much of the story is just I cannot remember. When I read the manga, I went too fast through it, and I don't really remember all of the plot except the basic part of the plan, with Kinemon orchestrating most of it, working with Law to get more samurai and others in the city and the country to band together and raid Onigashima. Outside of that, I hadn't remember much of it, and I'm going through the anime to get it all into my head, and so I have it there as best I can. Anyways, so yeah, we're recapping here. So we had people celebrating. Oh yes, and Momonosuke was telling Zunisha that he does not think the country of Wano is ready to be opened yet, and expressed concern, and I think others have as well, that what will happen with the world government, because they have a small fleet perhaps of warships there at Wano. They were probably preparing. That seems like they're preparing for either way, whether Kaido or Luffy want to like raid the place and kind of set up, maybe there's some garrisons of troops there and force the country to become part of the world government's confederation of sorts, a league, they might call it too. And so we'll see what happens there. I don't know if this episode it'll have that. That's one of the main things I'm looking forward to now, following the end of this plot, is like most of the end of most of these big arcs, we find out a lot of stuff going on elsewhere in the world. Much like Dressrosa was showing stuff going on, and Reverie started right around. Did Reverie start right after Dressrosa, or did they show it after Whole Cake Island? Or Totland. Anyways, we start seeing more stuff going on where like Reverie started, and we saw Admiral, the Gravity guy, go in there, and they ended the Warlord system. So we know that happened a while back, and with that happening, I'm interested to see now if any of the warlords have been captured. I think Kobe was actually going after Hancock, and Mihawk, we know he was almost looking forward to the fact that he was going to be pursued again by the Navy, and he was thinking back to how time, I don't think we had any flashback panels, but he was saying to himself, wow, it's been a long time since I had been chased. And so we know that, and then who else was there? Oh yeah, Whitebeard's supposed son. They had, I think pirates, we actually saw that the Navy had surrounded him and his mom, we don't know. And so all the warlords are now pirates again. So hopefully there'll be something to show that in the coming weeks in the chapters here. And that part, plus whether or not the Navy, or the Marines I should say, they call them here, will still try to come into the island of Wano yet. It's something I'm highly anticipating finding out what the government will decide to do. So let's get into this. I think I've spoken long enough. So also I didn't finish the cold-blooded Germa thing. I'm sorry. And I know that they show that they're escaped. The other ones that were captured have escaped. So I guess good for them. Maybe they'll regroup with Sanji at some point. I don't know. So let's go into this. So first of all, we're seeing lots of we got the Flower Capital citizens freaking out because they think that it's really Kaido, but some others are yelling, no, it's not. Don't worry. Please calm down. Oh, and lastly, yeah, Orochi too seemed to be gone. I guess, what's his name, Denshiro, did actually kill him. Kinemon Raijo, Nakamurashi, what's his name? Denjiro, right. Denjiro killed Orochi. That's right, and then all the Denjiro and Hirori and others are coming out of this fog, coming to the city to announce the change in regime, as it were, from the negative, what we had, and to what the chapter 2, by the way, is called Shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke. So Momonosuke looks like he's going to take up his father's, as his father, the proper successor after his father, and resume leadership of Wano, or not resume, take leadership of Wano as their proper shoot, what's it called again? The Shogun. So now Denjiro and we see Denjiro, Kinemon, and Hiroi coming out, and Kinemon tells Denjiro, and I think Hiroi too, you guys have made quite a name for yourselves. Let's find out if they even recognize us still after all this time. So Kinemon shows himself, and people, are admittedly and obviously surprised that he is still alive. They thought he died in the Odin's castle, because Toki, the wife had that time fruit to send them forward and make this happen the way it did. So people are still expressing disbelief and wondering if they somehow have even died because Kinemon's there. So the others are coming out. We got Kawamatsu and one of the mink guys, what's his name? Inuyarashi and others all coming out, showing themselves that they are still there. Raizo as well, and Nekomashi, yeah. And what's the other girl, Samurai? They all come out. The red scabbards, right. So all the scabbards are coming out, and they're all realizing that Toki was correct in her prophecy that they would come back and succeed in saving Wano. So, and then it's jumping around to other areas of Wano, the Ringo, the Hukumai, forgive me, and Kibi. Oh, that's right, and there's an earthquake was starting to happen last chapter, of course. So, anyways. No. Don't mind me. I went all day to get to this chapter. I'm recording this late in the afternoon for me, and I'm like trying to get myself looking good for the camera. So everyone's broadcasting, however they do that here, broadcasting that the red scabbards are back. And everyone's surprised, and some are looking quite... Oh, now my battery's dying low. Oh, I paused. Alright, we're back. So, now we're switching over to the other Straw Hats. We got Nami, Frankie, and man, I'm doing great today. Brooke. And we got them up there with Yamato. And she's telling them how she's Kaido's, she. I'm sorry. I might say she, because, she looks feminine to me. She's kind of hot. She wants to be son. I don't care. So I'm going to be saying she. That's just what I'm going to be doing. And my camera will not stop to hit the recording off again. Anyways. So Frankie and Brooke are. Frankie looks like he's ready to fight Yamato. And Brooke's like in shock and like jumping back because Yamato has revealed who she is to them. But she's like, hold on, I'm not your enemy. And I know who you guys are. And I'm in shock of how odd you guys are. And then they say, oh, but you have horns. Oh gosh, yes, everyone's weird to one another. What a world we live in. Oh, and now Yamato has proclaimed she wants to sail with them. So she's still mine. She's using her name Yamato flipping it with Odin. So wait, so now we got Jinbei, and she's gonna join. So we're really getting Jinbei officially joined technically in Totland. Awesome. They need some more muscle on their crew, frankly. Well, no, they have Frankie and Chopper. So we got Luffy. In the beginning, it was like Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro, and then we have Frankie as Chopper came, and he could transform into. I love that one scene, by the way, in Water 7 where Chopper and I think it was Chopper, Zoro, Luffy, maybe together with Sanji there. They all went over to where Frankie's base was after he had robbed Usopp, and he took revenge there. Let me stop it. I like the way Chopper was part of it, where he He can be very because he's the doctor, but the fact that he can help out in battle many times because he's a proficient fighter in his own right is something I've always really liked. I really like a character like that who's like they seem like they have a different primary skill set, but they're capable of being battle hard and joining into a fight as much as any of the others, even if they aren't the tip of the spear. So and Brooke was similar too. Brooke, we gained another swordsman, one who's fencing rather than samurai three sword style. Hi, Wilder. Yeah, I'm doing my review. You gonna sit here? Come here. Come on. Ugh. So now we got Yamato, who, as we saw in the past, she went toe to toe with Ace quite well. So she's a proficient fighter, and her dad just recently. So everyone's like, we have a mix of surprise and happiness that she's going to be joining here. Usopp and Nami particularly being surprised, and Frankie kind of saying you're going to join a crew, and Sanji and Brooke both approve. And Nico's just kind of, this is a new turn of events I like. And that's right, Jinbei's there, and he says, we'll need confirmation from our captain before I'm convinced, which is a fair thing to say, and she says the same to him. And now we got Chopper, right? We haven't seen Chopper. That's right, Zoro and everyone's being brought to Chopper, and he's trying to take care of them, and he was getting helped by that little goat minx, I think it was. So now everyone's like looking at Luffy. Yeah, was he looking at Luffy and wondering if he'll be okay because he was using his Gear 5th to, no, Wilder, sit there. Don't jump in front of the camera. Oh, no, come on, Wilder. And now it looks like some of the pirates are fleeing. Some of the other beast pirates are deciding to flee instead, and Yamato's upset that they're running off. Wilder, be careful. Why is it? Everything just. So now Jinbei says, points out watching Yamato yelling at the other pirates that he doesn't think she's an enemy. And Usopp's like, okay, what are we going to do about these other pirates though? Oh, here we go. So now we get something because all these other pirates were allies of the became allies because of what's her name, Toko's fruit that let her, when she fed them the stuff from her cheeks to them, she could force them to become allies. And this probably had limits to some degree, such as not probably working with someone like Kaido or Big Mom, but it made a very effective skill in order to change the tides in this current battle. And then she reveals that the form only works her power only works for 1 month. And then she says they usually go back to normal afterwards, animals, but some will stay tamed. Well, they're careful with your tail. Oh, and then we have the one girl, the horse one, saying, I want to stay by your side. Horse Lena, yeah? And she's like, okay, you can stay with me, but I don't need you to be my servant. Which is, good. She's like, she said, I want you to be like my mother. And the other horse Lena looks like she's about to pass out from such a glowing, positive comment. And now we're switching. I think we're about to get. That's right. We haven't seen what Momonosuke looks as a human adult yet. I think we're about to get there. And now we're seeing that the red scabbards are kneeling in front of Momonosuke, and he starts making a speech in front of I think it's right beneath where Orochi's castle was. And he starts saying, it's been 20 years since my father died. And he says, you've done well to survive this protracted winter. Oh, that's right. So no one else knows Momonosuke was alive either. They probably all assumed he died with Toki. And they didn't know Horiori was alive because she took on that alias as one of those geishas. And here's a speech here. The freedoms of fire, the fire festival shall not end tonight. Starting tomorrow you will live as you wish. You may drink as much as you please. You will no longer be charged for water. The toxic factories will be abolished. Slavery will cease. And people are just surprised, and they're showing like the other things that are causing this problem. So more factory workers died today, but it may be our turn tomorrow. Wait. What's this now? I think we're getting a flashback now with Otoko. No, I'm getting these names wrong. Yeah, no, not Otoko. Otama. Otama and Otoko, I'm getting them both wrong. Oh, this is a flashback when she lost her parents. Did they get conscripted into working in the factories? And there's just flashbacks showing like how should they tell her. And this is going to be difficult to understand. Then they go up to her and we just see her crying as they tell her that I guess oh no, they were dying. They must have been dying because there's a gravesite for them. Were they living out there on the rough? Because people in the flower capital were the only ones that really could get access to any decent food and water, but they also had to be running successful businesses or services in order to do that. So anyone outside there were usually people that were being forced into work in either the factories or like the labor camps, like the Udon prison. Like that, right? So now this is flashback continuing here with Otama. And she see her with her pet there, selling hats. Is that one she learned how to make from, no. Learned how to make them from Ace, I think? Oh, Ace learned them from her, probably. Remember, Ace made that hat for Oris III. That's right. Hats for sale. So she has a little hat shop, and she was trying to sell them in the past. Oh, and this is where she met, what's his name? Ken Yugama, and he bought a hat. So she was surprised to see him because of who he is, I guess, and he tells her, like, don't give in, soon as Kazuki's will come back. And that inspired her to keep living on. So that's the end of the flashback. So we see Otama hugging Nami and crying that, because this is finally at an end. And we see her going back to when Luffy said, we'll save you guys so you guys can eat as much as you like. Now we get the continuation of Momonosuke's speech. And he talks about how Orochi's reign and the menace of Kaido are both gone. And how I met my friends on this voyage, and the ninjas and pirates and minks, samurais, and how together they have vanquished Kaido and the others. And we're still not seeing his face though it looks like he's got some epic hair going on there. And he's wearing they're surprised that they were beaten by an alliance. So the citizens here are like amazed and then crying at the same time that Orochi's gone. And we see Kido pissed that it's being called our alliance. Guess he wanted to take more of the credit for himself, but he really can't. He's being a dick if he's still trying to say he did more work himself. The story's all gonna spread, buddy. You need to quit. We know you're an awesome dude and you're an awesome fighter and stuff and all in your own right, but this is... That's right, because he's one of those guys who wants to do everything himself. He can't have... Only his subordinates can help him. Killer's probably his only guy that's like his friend, I would assume, right? So, but he doesn't like law, doesn't like Luffy, and frankly, they all don't like taking orders. And that's something that's a little frustrating for me in this series sometimes. When these characters can't learn to work together, where they all gotta be in charge, it's just like... It's like, in that case, if that was realistically, if there was a thing where I was with Kid, Law, and Luffy, I would right away want Law to be the leader. in most situations. He's the level-headed strategist. He created this plan, right? Back at Punk Hazard, or he had a plan beforehand, and he wanted to form an alliance with Luffy to take down Kaido. And part of this was because he knew that Kaido and Doflamingo were working together, and he wanted to take out Doflamingo because that was a bit way more personal, really. So, but this all was about taking down Kaido, and he had the plan. So, if I was a pirate captain and I'm working with them, I would want Law to be the one in charge. I would say, okay, Law, I think your ideas are great. I'll work along with you temporarily. I wouldn't be so stick in the mud like Luffy. Oh, I don't think Luffy was so much. Kid and Law probably both acted like that to a degree too. I'd be like, all right, someone, let's take charge temporarily. Let's work together. I get it. Then we'll go our own ways. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. I can never stand when that stuff happens in these stories. So the speech continues with them saying, we will never forget the heroes who paved the way to make this possible. We're seeing Law with Beppo. They're treating him, I think. We got Carrot crying. We got more of the citizens crying and cheering together. Now we're switching to Otoko. And she's smiling away. Now what's this? Someone's saying to Kanema, what do I say what? And he's like, as they say, fake it till you make it. So now we switch to a little flashback, I think, here with Momonosuke, where Luffy had said to him, what are you, Momo, just a figurehead? Does anything in the world still seem scary to you? I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff. So now he proclaims together, Momonosuke says, my name was given to me by my father. It means second to none. I swear to live up to the restoring the country's barren land to a paradise. But I need you to help me out. I've transcended 20 years to save this land, and from this moment on, Wano will be led by me. Oh, and we finally get to see him. And he basically looks a lot like his dad. He's a very handsome fellow. And he's got some fabulous hair there. I'm real jealous. I'm trying to grow my hair back in, by the way. I had it a long, long time ago. But it'll never be that kind of look. Mine's very curly. And now this proclamation of like the Wano will be led by me, Kozuki Momonosuke, has the Scabbards and his sister together all like crying and happy to see that a Kozuki, a proper leader, is returned. And then he's thinking to himself, Momonosuke, Father, I'll continue what you started. And it shows a brief thing of Odin smiling. And now we see the others, pirates, are Sanji and Yamato and Nami and everyone all crying too and cheering that he's here. And there's a big, they show the flower capital part pulled back, and it's like the true Shogun has returned. Wait, who's saying that? My deepest apologies. Alright, I'm not good at this. Now we get something, I think this might be by the narrator, and it's like Sakura petals dance in a future sky where warriors can finally rest their blades. And it shows that Mount Fuji place. A man, 8 years of age, surveys their progress as they drift in the night air of the renowned land of samurai. He may lack physical strength, but he compensates with devotion and duty. This man will one day be known for Rider's world, one of Wano's greatest leaders. We may have just been born witness to the birth of the great Shogun. We have just been born of the great witness to the great Shogun. And this is where it finally ends with Momonosuke being followed by the Scabbards going up to the castle. And that's the end of it. Oh, that's so good. It's so good to have this. Oh, and here, Momonosuke in his suit. So he's got like a yellow kimono on, matching the shade of his dragon form, with a red cloak, with crescent moons on the cloak, and I don't know if that's his family logo on his kimono. And that sword he's got, I wonder where he got that from. I don't remember him having a sword before. Oh wait, no, is that his? That's the other sword, right? I'm sorry. He has Zoro has Enma, and he's got the other one. Hiyori gave up because they were divided, right? One was to be given to Hiyori and one to Momonosuke, and she gave hers to Zoro so that they would have a chance in a swordsman. I don't think can Hiyori fight at all technically. I'm not sure, but in the hands of someone like Zoro, Enma is obviously they're a force to be reckoned with. So he's got the other one. Forget its name right now. Enma and I can't remember. So this was a chapter to be the conclusion style to the arc, to the story, like they do. They're like the 3 arc thing. We have a big prologue, you have a climax area, and a conclusion. I'm thinking back to when I was a kid and I did book reports. I know this. I think this was following a 3-act play thing, right? The thing that Oda wanted to do with it. So this is supposed to be like the concluding chapter now of that. And then they'll probably next week, or is there a break? Oh yeah, let's see that. I don't think so. So these next chapters we'll be getting in the following weeks anyway will likely be the stuff that I want to see more of to show whether the what's happening with the warlords, what's happening with the Marines outside of Wano's shores. Yeah, this is a great chapter. This is the kind of concluding chapter we needed for this. This is awesome. The Otama flashback is very sad though, but it's just so good. And now Yamato is claiming she's gonna join the crew. So what's that? Make 10 crew members now? Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Nami, Frankie, Chopper, Nico, Jinbei, Brook, Yamato. I think that's 10 now we got, right? 10 crew members. So yeah, this is the end of it. Kaido, we don't know what happened with the earthquake though, that's right. There was an earthquake apparently starting up and they didn't say what's going to happen. Hi, Diane. You want to sit there? No? Okay. Yeah, we don't know what's happening with that earthquake or what's happening with Big Mom and Kaido too. So we have to wait and see that next week probably. So, goddamn. We got a great fight. We got a good conclusion. We just don't know what's happening outside of that. I'm very content with this chapter and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Have a good one.